name is Dr. Melanie Nyhof from Indiana University, South Bend, and my research concerns what people think constitutes a person. So personhood concepts and what is intuitive. And personhood concepts are considered to be foundational to the cognitive science of religion because ideas such as gods and ghosts really rely on what we think is essential to a person, such as minds. And there are some researchers that have argued that people are, they consist of minds and bodies. But there are other researchers who say, well, maybe it's not that simple. Maybe there are other immaterial aspects to persons in addition to minds, such as personal essence or a soul or life force. And I'm particularly interested in that, in life force or vitality. And research in developmental psychology has shown that vitalistic causality is an important part of how children think about biological functioning. So there's been research that has shown that children between the ages of 6 to 8 from cultures all over the world, Japan and Australia and the US, they reason that the body functions due to vitalistic causality, that the flow of energy is how our body functions. And I'm particularly interested in this in the context of illness, and especially in China, because in traditional Chinese medicine, vital energy, or qi, is essential to both health, maintaining health, and also is at the root of causes of illness. So in China, Western allopathic medicine has become more prominent, and I was wondering, what is the influence of these different cultural factors, and how do they perhaps interact with intuitive foundations of how we understand persons and both bodies and the immaterial aspects. And so I did a study in comparing children in China and in the US, and they are children ages 4 to 10 years of age, and I presented them with stories in which there's a character that had some symptoms of an illness, and the character had 2 friends, and each friend had different ideas about why they thought their friend was sick. So was it vitalistic? Did it have to do with energy, or was it having to do with contagion or germs, or psychological factors like worrying too much, or perhaps moral factors like perhaps they were mean to their friends and that's why they're sick. And then we also asked if the children thought that both of the friends could be right. And what we found is that children in China, more often than children in the US, did prefer vitalistic reasons for illness. However, children in both the US and China still preferred contagion over vitalism and psychological and moral reasons. So, and also what we found is that children in China, ages 8 to 10, also were more resistant to say that both friends could be right. So what we find is that vitalism does play a role in children's thinking about illness, causation in both China and the US, but contagion is still more preferred. So these different inference systems are kind of working together, interacting with cultural factors, but also they influence children's thinking in a very complex and interactive way.